Hi, my name is Stacy, also known as StressKnits on Ravelry and Stacy Elstone on Instagram, and this is episode 8 of StressKnits. Prefacing two things. One, my hair didn't cooperate up or down today, so it's just gonna be in its natural state, so I'm sorry if this offends anybody. And then two, last week I put up the show notes in the Ravelry group, like I do, and I put it under episode 6 instead of episode 7, so there are 2 episode 6 threads, but one is episode 7. So, sorry about that, couldn't figure out how to change it, but a lovely viewer brought it to my attention, so that happened. Anyway, I just want to say a big hello to returning viewers and welcome to new viewers. Thank you for checking me out. I wanted to give a special thank you to Kate from the Stitch Addiction podcast, which is one of my original podcasts that I watched when I came into this community, I guess, 2 years ago. She mentioned me on her podcast, which was amazing, and last week, I feel like it was a long time ago, this week flew by, but last week she messaged me and told me that she had a yarn that I mentioned in episode 5, I believe, and it's one of my bucket list yarns, and she was like, I have about 20 grams, if you are interested we can do a swap. So we did a swap, and I'm going to show this now instead of stash enhancements because I'm thanking her and I'm really excited about it. So I left it in the packaging, so sorry for crinkles, but she sent me these amazing minis. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm going to take it out. Sorry if this is loud if you're wearing headphones. This won't happen again. She had this much left of Soda Pop by Hedgehog Fibers. Her socks that she made out of this yarn is what made me fall in love with Soda Pop by Hedgehog. It was a club colorway. It's beautiful, right? So it's everything that I thought it would be and more. So Kate, thank you for sharing this with me along, they're falling out, with the other, see, this is why I should have just kept it in there, with the other beautiful minis. I'm so excited to put these into my blanket. My blanket is going to get a lot of love tonight because I want to save some stuff that's on the needles for class tomorrow. So my Cozy Memories blanket is going to get a lot of love, and that is one of the ones that I'm putting in tonight. And I'm just really excited about it. So Kate, thank you so much. You are amazing. Everything you sent me. She sent me some chocolate, some tea. It just means so much to me that you reached out and mentioned me on your podcast. So I hope your minis find you soon. I sent them. They should be arriving today or tomorrow. But thank you again, Kate. Also, today is Leap Day, so it's Monday, February 29th, which I only get to say every 4 years, right? So that's exciting. But anyway, I'm going to get on with the knitting, and yeah, it's a relatively light on the knitting because I promised that I would have something off the needles, and I do have something off the needles, but it's not my sweater. My sweater, I love it. There's a talent show tonight and some people are practicing, apparently. So anyway, I love my sweater. I just have to knit 10 inches on a sleeve. I've knit about 4 inches on it. It's nothing really to write home about. I only worked on it a little bit, but it's spring in West Virginia. It was cold last week, and I really wanted to work on my sweater, but now it was pushing it was 70 yesterday. It's 60-ish today, and it's gonna be warm for the rest of the week. I think the lowest it's gonna get is like 47. So, I'm just gonna take my time. I'm gonna knock out the sleeve when I'm feeling up to it, and not gonna put pressure on myself to get it done. So instead, I worked on my Wool and Vine socks, which I have called my Wool and Vine Love socks. I just checked my show notes. So I finished these. There are 2, and I Kitchenered them this time. So this is, I'll put that, ooh, sorry for that sound. This is Wool and Vine yarns in her blitzed base. If you can see, can you see any of the stellina? Yes, no, no? Can you not see it today? That's sad. But it is her blitzed base, so it does have stellina in it, and it is her Gashly Crumb colorway. So it's beautiful. I just love it. I always loved the little shocks of navy and chartreuse that would pop up. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's my sock pattern. Well, actually, I used hers. Well, I labeled it as hers, but I started with 64 and decreased to 56 just because I like a little more room on my cuffs. So yeah, so that's this. Those are done. And that's my only finished object. I don't know where to put these. I'll just keep them right there. So my work's in progress. I have 2 new cast-ons. Like I said, I was just not in the mood to work on my sweater. So I cast on my March socks, which I know is kind of cheating, but there are so many socks I want to knit in March that I said it was okay. So last month, my indie dyer of the month was Kristen of Wool and Vine, and I knit my Pandora socks. Here, let me just grab them. I knit my Pandora socks out of Wool and Vine yarn. They're both Wool and Vine yarns. And then I knit my Gashly Crumb socks. So I knit both of these, showed some Wool and Vine love, as one does, because who doesn't love Kristen's yarn? It's beautiful. But now that February is over, or it's going to be over tomorrow, it is time for a new indie dyer. So I received this skein off of a D-stash, and sorry for the music if you can hear it. I got the skein off a D-stash, and I was really excited because, I mean, do you ever look at a yarn and just go, if the shipping wasn't what it was, I would totally buy that. And that's been kind of my theme with looking at a homespun house yarn by Molly. Now, I'm going to bite the bullet eventually and just buy from her because I love her. Molly, I love you if you watch this. You are amazing. You inspire me all the time. You inspired my Cozy Memories blanket, your sock knitting, your sweater knitting, just everything you do is just so beautiful. And that's why Molly is my indie dyer of March. So I cast on her Falling Leaves colorway. I don't know if this is repeatable or not. I haven't seen it in the shop, but it's beautiful. It's greens and pinks, and there's some purples, there's some brown, I think, flecks in it, and some yellows. It's very spring, and I just needed that kind of spring happiness. So I cast these on, I knit the cuff, and I decreased down. I was going to do a pattern sock, But there are some knit-alongs coming up that I'm going to do pattern socks for, so this is just going to be a plain vanilla and my class knitting, probably for this week. So there it is. It's beautiful knitting up. I love it. I'm knitting these in all of my socks on a US 1.5 or a 2.5 millimeter. The needles are part of stash enhancement, but I'll talk about them now. So these are, I know I said I was going to wait a while to order knit picks again, but I got a gift certificate from my sister for my birthday. And it's not my money, right? So one of the things that I got, and I'll show the rest to you during the enabling section, are the new Majestic needles. So it's this really pretty purple wood. They're just like the Caspians, but with purple. And I love them. I just love wood needles for socks. And I know they break. I've broken many wood needles, usually by stepping on them or kneeling on them, because I had a set of just a pair of US 6s that were the Marbles needles by Knitter's Pride, Knit Pro, whatever you want to say. And those are plastic. Kneeled on them because they were on my chair, and I was going to plug in my flower lights from IKEA that I have around my room, and I went to go plug them in because I have to kneel on my chair to get to the plug, and they just cracked. So like that's happened with anything besides metal needles or my carbons I've broken. But I love them. I love knitting with small wood needles. I'm going to put my hair up because this is getting a little out of control. And I'm really tired of touching my hair. And I bet you're tired of watching me touch my hair, right? Probably. So anyways, yeah, so I love small wood needles. And yeah, these are just great. I love the slight give they have. I'm trying not to break these on. See that slight give? I love it. This cable, you guys, I love this cable. It's different than the Caspian cable. Those are the only noodles from Knit Picks that I've used. It's different from those. This cable though, I'm in love. I love these needles. If you are in the market for trying out some needles, I would highly recommend Knit Picks Majestics because they are great. So that is one of my cast-ons. My other cast-on is something that's a little out of character for me. In my bag that I so poorly made is, dropping it. This is my Atwood shawl. Has my sleeve for the other sweater in there too, which my gable sweater, I added about 2 inches on the sleeve. That one I kind of really want to work on right now, so we'll see what happens. But I cast on my Atwood shawl. So this is where I'm at. I have done 3 of the, I'm sorry, I hate when people's needles click, and I'm sorry that that's what's happening right now. I hate that sound. Well, actually I love that sound, but when I'm wearing headphones or listening to it, not a fan. So I'm going to try not to have them hit each other while I'm showing you this. But yeah, so it's beautiful. Clearly this is the top. Oh, I'm sorry. So there, that is, it's gorgeous, right? Oh my gosh, guys, I'm sorry. Also, that was probably the most awkward thing in the entire world. I'm gonna sit back here and show you. Yeah, so this is beautiful, super intuitive. I already memorized the pattern after doing the setup row, or the setup repeat, and then going into the repeat. super potato chippy. I watched a movie for class while I was knitting on this. Super fun. I love it. This is I'm knitting this on a US 4 3.5 millimeter interchangeable carbon. Knitter's pride. This is the only interchangeable set that I have. The pattern calls for a US 2, I believe, but I don't know. I felt like the fabric was a little too dense for me for a shawl, because actually, the only shawls that I've knit have been fingering weight on a US 6, and so I just went in between and did a 4 in this yarn, guys. If you have not knit with Swan's Island, it's a little pricey. I treated myself for my birthday. This is, I have it right here. I'm gonna try not to show you the price because I'm kind of embarrassed. But Swan's Island Natural Color Collection. This is the Glacier colorway. And it's so squishy. It reminds me of Quince & Co. It really does. It's not as plump as Quince & Co. fingering. It's a very light fingering weight, at least to me, but it's so springy. People are so loud, it's obnoxious, but they can't help it, right? So, cause like, do you ever, okay, tangent, but I'm like the old cranky lady in a freshman dorm, right? I'm 22 and I'm living with a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds. So they're excited about college still, right? Even though it's March, well, almost March. They're still excited that they're in college. But sometimes they just talk really loud. And it's their natural voice, and I just have to tangent. But it's kind of funny because I kind of feel myself getting old. And I know a bunch of you are like, you're 22, you're really young. But I feel myself just being like, oh, young people. And anybody else? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so yeah, super springy, wonderful, beautiful, so soft and squishy. This is making me want to order more Quince & Company. I know this is Swan's Island, and I'm actually thinking about ordering some Swan's Island, the same line, the Natural Colors collection. It's 100% organic merino, I want to say, but I think in a different color, and knitting another, I wanted to say windswept again, Whispering Pine shawl. I'm thinking about it. And then I'm for sure ordering some Quince & Company. I don't know what color yet, but I want to make a featherweight cardigan out of Quince & Company, and I want to make a windswept shawl by Molly of a Homespun House out of Quince & Company. It's gonna be, even though Molly's my indie dyer of the month, I think I'm gonna cast on a windswept. With my next paycheck, I think I'm gonna buy some Quince & Company Chickadee, the sport weight. I don't know what color yet. I'm playing around with some ideas, but yes, Atwood shawl. That's the wrong side. Atwood shawl. That was gifted to me for my birthday by a lovely, lovely person on Ravelry. So thank you. If you watch my podcast, thank you. But what I was saying is, I think I'm also going to feature Molly as a designer for her month, because I only have one skein of her yarn and I am quitting cold turkey for March. I have bought too much. That's what happens when your paycheck is bigger than you are expecting it to be. And you find some yarn on D-Stash and you're like, oh, it's $10 cheaper than it usually is. And then you're like, oh, Kemper came out with some yarn, and I want some Jinx. Like, oh, I need to stop. So, the only thing that I'm allowing myself to buy is not next week. Wait, not this week, but next week, next Friday, I will be purchasing some chickadee to knit a one-swept shawl. And that's it. Dunzos. I've been watching Parks and Rec, so I had to say dunzo. If you got the reference. If not, that's okay too. You guys, I am a big ball crazy today, aren't I? Yeah? Okay. Take a sip of iced coffee. Oh, Melissa, Spicy Homemaker. I'm going to talk about her a little later too, but thank you. So, what else do I need to talk about? I have my show notes. But because I mentioned Melissa, I'm like, oh, should I talk about that now? No, I'll wait. I will wait. So, Cozy Memories blanket. I have added 3 squares. 2 of them are stash enhancements, and 1 of them is from a swap. Because, you guys, when I get new yarn, and I'm going to do this after, like, while I'm uploading, I'm going to sit down, watch some podcasts. I need to talk about podcasts, too. Mental notes that hopefully don't go by the wayside. What I do, because I love my Cozy Memories blanket so much that when I get new skeins of yarn that I'm really excited about, I want to knit with them right away, but I don't want to cast on anything with them. So I wind off myself 6-7 grams of yarn and knit a Cozy Memories square. And then I leave the rest of it to knit Birds of Happiness, which I haven't knit in a long time. But I think maybe this weekend I'm going to sit down and crank some out because I like to give them with packages, like gifts I give people or swaps. I really love including Birds of Happiness just because I think it's a nice little something. So, my 3 squares that I have added, pardon my ends, I need to weave in the ends from these 3 squares, right? Oh, there's 4 squares I need to weave in. Whoops. I like to weave in my ends as I go, so I'll weave those in before I get started on another square. This was a from a swap I did with, oh, I want to say a name, but I want to make sure that I'm not saying the wrong name. Laura. I was right. From the Knit Shift podcast, sent me this beautiful mini. I had to knit with it right away. It's the Flying Kettle in a colorway that starts with groggy, and I think it ends with dog. But it's beautiful, and I always wanted to try the Flying Kettle, so that's wonderful. This is Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering in the Happy Valley colorway, which was a colorway that I've actually really wanted to try for a long time. And then this, ooh, a little wonky there, just because the way the blanket's weighing it down. This is Hedgehog Fibers in Tickle. It's their sock base. So there's that. So yeah, this thing is getting big and I love it. I love it so much. And I'm gonna try to only show my blanket when I have a decent amount of progress on it, because I know not all of you are into these things, but just look at it. If you haven't started one, you should do it. It's great and addicting. It's so pretty. My hair is driving me insane. It's just one of those days, guys. One of those days. It's a Monday, right? Okay, so enabling. This section is bigger than I thought it was going to be. But, you know, things happen. So I'm gonna go in order of how I received these. So, on Saturday, well, I guess that's not going in order. Okay, so for my birthday, my oldest sister, Kelly, I have 2 sisters, but my oldest sister, I'm also the baby. So I have 2 older sisters, but the oldest of the older sisters gifted me a Knitpicks gift card for my birthday because my family is wonderful and they are finally getting when I ask for coffee and yarn, that's literally all I want because that's my life essentially, is coffee and yarn. So I'm gonna try not to play with my hair anymore, guys. It's so bad. Okay. So I ordered right away because I just wanted to get it. I wanted her to see what I ordered, and there's some stuff that I really wanted for a long time. So first things first were the needles. So besides the ones that I'm using for my homespun house socks, this is a 32-inch cord, by the way. That's what I like to magic loop with. It's a 32-inch cord. So I got those in a size. It's on the website, it says 1, like a US 1, but the millimeters is a 2.5, which is what a US 1.5 is. So that's what I ordered. And then I ordered they're both fixed circulars too, a 16-inch US 2 or a 2.75 millimeter. So I ordered that because I love knitting sockhead hats, but I have a US 3 hat size 16-inch, but I don't have one for when I do the ribbing, and there's a lot of ribbing on the socket hat. And I'm going to be knitting one for Doug again pretty soon because he wants one out of Brooklyn tweed. So I'm going to be doing that relatively soon. He probably won't be able to wear it until next year, but again, Michigan weather is also crazy, like West Virginia, so you never know. But yeah, so I got one to do that. And then I ordered the Hawthorne yarn. So this is the Hank Knitpicks. Is that upside down? Yes. Okay. Knitpicks Hawthorne fingering in Happy Valley. It has 357 yards, and it's a pretty beefy fingering. So I might knit them on 2s and just make it go faster. But I thought it was really pretty. And then I love Knitpicks Stroll and Stroll Tweed, so I had to get some Stroll Tweed, right? As one does. So this is Knitpicks Stroll Tweed in Thirst Heather. Yes, Thirst Heather. It's this beautiful greeny blue with the tweed in it. I'm really excited to knit with this. It's so soft. I love Stroll. Stroll is a good yarn. And then one of the books. This is my first knitting pattern collection book, and I want to knit my way through this. I already purchased the Featherweight cardigan. Felt a cough coming on, had to suppress it. So I've already knit the Featherweight cardigan, but every single sweater besides the coat in this book, I want. Hannah Fettig is one of my favorites. Her and Jane Richmond, I think I could knit everything that they ever put out. And this book is just beautiful. So, it's so pretty. I really want to knit this sweater. So, this is Knitbot Essentials by Hannah Fettig, and it's all out of Quince & Company yarn too, which I love Quince & Company yarn, in case you didn't know. But I want to see if I can show you some of these without. Yeah, that just has gauges on it. The two that I am most excited for are the Breezy cardigan. It's gorgeous, right? So pretty. And then the lightweight sweater to pull over. And just look at that, right? It just looks so cozy. I love it. I also want that couch. It's perfect. So I'm really excited. This summer I'll probably knit some of these. I actually think the featherweight is going to be my wedding sweater. I wanted something simple, so I'm going to be knitting another featherweight. I'm probably going to knit 2 other featherweights, to be honest, because I want one out of Quincy Company. Nice little squishy cardigan. So that's what I got from Knit Picks from my sister for my birthday. And then I ordered a skein of Hedgehog off of D-Stash. And when Hedgehog is $10 cheaper than it normally is, I can't, and it's a color that I love, it's so hard for me to turn away from it because I just love Hedgehog fibers, right? Like, Hedgehog's amazing. So I ordered the skein, and it's Hedgehog fibers sock yarn in the Tickle colorway. So it's beautiful. Gorgeous. I love pink yarn. It is one of my favorites. But this is the only thing I was expecting in the mail on Saturday. And I got another package and I looked at it and I originally thought it was this because I saw the other package first. And then I looked at the name and I was like, that's not it. It's Melissa from the Spicy Homemaker. What are you doing? So I was confused. I was like, did we do a swap that I forgot about? Like, am I a horrible person just forgot about that? You guys. Melissa, I hope it's okay that I'm sharing this. I would assume you'd be okay with it. But, so I'm gonna share it, and if you're not, I'm sorry. But this is just too sweet to not tell everybody about. You guys. Melissa of the Spicy Homemaker is the sweetest human being I've ever been in contact with. I'm so happy to have gotten to know her a little bit. We have communicated a lot on Ravelry. She gave me wonderful pointers about this podcast. She gave me so much encouragement at the beginning to keep doing this, and honestly, I don't know if I would have kept going without the support and kind words that she gave to me. Especially after the first episode is when she contacted me, like, right away. And just her love, her support for the entire podcasting community and the knitting community in general is just so sincere, and just, she's wonderful. So, like I mentioned, I had mentioned in episode 5 that I had a yarn bucket list, and on there was Mustache, and as you guys know, somebody else sent me a skein of Mustache. Melissa also sent me a skein of Mustache yarns, and this was a birthday gift. Like, you guys, first of all, the swap pack, it wasn't a swap, but I'm probably going to send some minis and some goodies your way, Melissa, because you are so sweet. And I've wanted to for a while, so I'm really excited. I've already started putting your package together, so be on the lookout for that soon. So her package is just amazing. She gave me these 4 minis. So this is her La Dolce Vita colorway, which is the one that's her signature colorway of the year. Zio wools, Andre Sue Knits, Space Cadet, and I love all of these so much. These will be going into my blanket. And then the skein of Mustache in, what's it? I always forget what it's called. Is it Dark Side? Yeah, Dark Side in the extended play version, so it has the longer rainbow repeat. And one, I love Dark Side of the Moon. That album is amazing. So that's exciting. Two, this colorway is so pretty. And it's an OCD. So I get the two perfectly matched socks. I'm in awe of this colorway. I've said this many times, I'm not a rainbow person. I am not a true rainbow person. But this yarn, guys, I'm so excited to have socks out of this. I'm so excited. So that's how it knits up. I'm sorry if that's blowing out because of the white. That's how it knits up. I'm blown away by your generosity, Melissa. So thank you. Thank you so much. Last, but certainly not least, if you recall or see my Instagram post that I put up right before I started recording this, I love Sylvia Plath. You already know where this is going, right? Wonderful Kemper of Junk Yarn, who, congratulations Kemper, my pile of socks is falling over. Congratulations Kemper on such a successful first shop update. Your yarn is beautiful. It took everything in me to not buy everything. It's beautiful. So I ordered a skein of Sylvia, which I'll show you in a second, but she also included this beautiful little mini skein, which is also going in my blanket tonight. It's gorgeous. Kemper, if you're watching this, what colorway is this? Is it you? I'm pretty sure this is your yarn. It looks like something you would dye because it's gorgeous. What colorway is it? I'm curious. It's beautiful. And then this Kemper's yarn, lady, you are so talented. Like, this is just gorgeous. Also, her label is super cute, right? And it's color inspired by women. So like my little heart is just over the moon with how wonderful this is. And it says, hello, my name is Sylvia. So my heart, super happy. I want to make Kemper an Indie Dyer of the Month, but I don't know if I can wait to cast this on. Guys, I don't know if I can wait. So I'm so excited. It's beautiful. I don't want to put this down. So excited. Reminds me of Legacy Knits when they don't want to put the socks down. I don't want to put this down. It's beautiful. Look at this. That color. Kemper. Genius. Okay. So, enough gushing about the gorgeous yarn that I have to knit with. I'm still in awe. So, I'm going to do a little update on cows and giveaways, and then I'm going to do up and coming, and then I think that's going to be it. Oh, actually, I haven't asked me anything question, so I'm going to try to go through these relatively fast. So, just a reminder, I am hosting the Indie Dye Knit-along. All you have to do is knit with an Indie Dyed skein of yarn, 50 grams at least, and double dipping is totally allowed. you can dip as many times as you want. I'm all about that life. So yeah, knit anything, come join. The chatter and the finished object thread is up. You have until the end of March. Literally any indie dyed yarn. As long as you're using 50 grams, you're so good. So come join, it's gonna be a lot of fun. If you want to know what the prizes are, check last episode. I think that's when I shared them. And then they are also listed. I didn't put pictures up, but they're listed in the finished objects thread, I believe. So check that out. I wanted to show you guys how my box of socks cal is going. So I have a total of 9 pairs completed. This is only 8 of them because the 9th pair is on sock blockers right now. So these are all of the socks that I have knit so far this year. I completed 2 of them were already a half-finished object this year, and then I just finished them. But yeah, so I've knit all of these socks, and guys, I have knit a pair of socks every week so far. Oh, I smell my tuft woolens. It's the Royal Apiary scent. It's gorgeous. But yeah, so box of socks. I need to find a box. But that is hosted by Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast and Wool and Vine Yarns. So you should check that out. It's great. You just have to knit 12 in a year, and I'm almost there. But I'm trying to do a specified one per month. Not just for that, but just for my own personal kind of sock club thing. So that's happening. And then up and coming, I have 3 cows that I'm going to that I'm going to participate in that start in March. So first is Candace from the Pin Feather and Pearls podcast is doing a stripy socks knit along. So I'm going to be using my other skein of mustache yarn because I want to save the dark side for summer because it just screams summer to me. Not that this doesn't, but I'm really excited about both of them, and I received this first, so I'm trying to work through stash, you know? So yeah, so I'm knitting with Polka Dot Afro Circus by Mustache. Sorry about the light. That entire wall is windows, so sometimes it's a little obnoxious. But yeah, so this is going to be for my stripy socks for that knit along with Candace. So I'm excited to be doing that. And then Jacqueline and Amber of the Brooklyn Knit Folk and Yarn Junkie? I think so. That's who Amber is, right? Yarn Junkie, that podcast. But they are hosting a Fine and Dandy socks knit along, and if you watch the Fawn Knits with Laura, you will have seen these. She finished them. They are beautiful. They have like little flower pattern. It's beautiful. You should really check it out, and it's only 74 cents. 73 or 74 cents. It's $1 Australian. 74 cents. What? These socks are gorgeous, guys. So I'm going to be using my Wool and Vine yarn in the Blitz Space in Jilted Rose. So that's what those are going to be. And then Kate T from Inside Number 23 is doing a Harry Potter knit along, And I always participate in the O Loops Harry Potter knit-along that happens in the fall, so I was kind of jonesing for some Harry Potter, so I'm really excited. I'm going to use a skein of O Loops in the Hermione's handbag colorway, and yeah. So I'm really excited for that. That starts tomorrow also. So, isn't this beautiful? I'm really excited to knit with this. I needed to I think I'm just going to do vanilla socks, but part of me wants to embrace my house, and as far as Harry Potter goes, my Harry Potter house, and everybody else is sharing what house they're in. And let me tell you, I knew what house I was going to be in since I started reading the books when I was little. I am a true Hufflepuff through and through. I took the Pottermore quiz when it came out. I was sorted into Hufflepuff. Everyone always makes fun of Hufflepuff, but I think we're pretty sweet. My southern accent just came out. I need to put that away. But yeah, we have Tonks, we had Cedric Diggory. Like, guys, Hufflepuffs are really cool and pretty BA, if you know what I'm saying. So, I might do honey badger socks with this. If we can do more than one project, I might use a skein in my stash. I don't know which skein I would use, but I might do honey badger socks that way. But yes, Harry Potter Knit Along starts March 1st with inside number 23. And also, guys, I've wanted to mention her for a few weeks now, and she said, I just watched her podcast before I started, and KT, which I'm trying to enunciate the T, because, you know, us Americans, we cannot say T's, and then being a Midwesterner or a Michigander, putting T's, well, T's are basically hard anyway, but like, especially two T's together, forget about it. I don't even say it. I just, like, mitten, right? Mitten. It's hard. But inside number 23 is lovely. KT is just so, she's great. I love her style. I wish I could pull stuff like that off. She's so sweet, she's so genuine, and she's hilarious. And I'm also slightly obsessed with her pug, Rolly, who is so adorable and makes me squee every time I see him. I think it's a him, not sure. But yeah, so like one of the first things Doug and I are getting when we get married next January is a dog, and it's gonna be a pug, and I'm so excited. So excited. So every time I see a pug, my heart just pitter-patters a little bit because I love pugs so much. They're so sweet. Okay, so watch her. Seriously, she's amazing. If you haven't heard of her yet, I don't know where you've been, because everybody's talking about her, and rightfully so. She's amazing. So, hi KT. I don't know if you watch, but if you do, hello. Okay, my hair is driving me nuts, guys, so I'm gonna try and make this quick. The last thing that I'm casting on soon is a newborn vertebrae for my soon-to-be niece or nephew, and I'm using Madeline Tosh Twist Light, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, so they can throw this in the washer. It'll be fine. I'll suggest that they dry it flat, but honestly, should be okay in a dryer, right? This is leftovers that I had from my featherweight cardigan. I had a full skein left over. My mom purchased 3 for me because she was wonderful. She's like, I'll buy that yarn for you. And I was like, I'm not gonna argue. So this is the Astrid Gray colorway. It's so pretty. And also babies in gray make my heart melt. So my soon-to-be brother-in-law and his wife are having a baby end of March, early April. So this should be done in the next, I'm going to try to get it done before spring break, but it will have to be done before I leave to come back from spring break because I need to get that in the mail to them real fast. So that's all my up and coming. I did have a question. I forgot to write down who it's from. I think I know who it's from, but I also don't want to give the wrong information and look like an idiot. So I was asked how I started knitting. So I'm going to try to make this quick because it's almost been an hour, which is a long time for me. So my knitting story is kind of weird. It just is. So I come from a crafty background. My grandma on my mom's side is a quilter. She hand quilts. She does not use a machine, and it's amazing. And then my grandma on my dad's side always crocheted. She crocheted Afghans. I actually have a pillow that she crocheted. I'm just gonna grab because it's sitting on my chair. This is a pillow that my grandma Allstone crocheted, and I got it 2 years ago because people wanted to throw this away, and I said, this is gorgeous, right? I love it. So yeah, my grandma crocheted, my other grandma quilts, and they both have taught me, well, my grandma Shaver has taught me things, and my grandma Allstone had both times when I was really young, so I didn't really appreciate it, you know, but so like fiber arts has always kind of been there. And then fast forward to my sophomore year of college, and I need something to do because my life was really stressful and a lot of stuff happened personally that was really rough to deal with. So we were doing, I was an RA sophomore year also. I've been an RA for 3 years. And we do room checks. And during one of my room checks, we walked into this girl's room and she had knitting stuff. And I was like, I've always wanted to try knitting. I saw the needles and I saw the yarn and I was like, after this I'm going to watch videos on how to knit and see if it's anything that would interest me. So I went onto YouTube and I watched how to knit a scarf. And I didn't have needles, I didn't have yarn at that point. I just watched the videos over and over and over. So a few days passed and I was going home for Thanksgiving, and I think it was Thanksgiving. It might have been Christmas, but no, it was Thanksgiving. It was. And I was sitting in the car with my mom, and I was like, Mom, I really want to learn how to knit. And she said, okay, we'll go to Michael's and get you some needles and yarn, whatever, tomorrow. And I was like, I really want to learn tonight. She's like, well, your sister and her boyfriend are coming over. So he was her boyfriend at the time, and now he's her fiance. So I was like, Mom, like, I really want to learn how to knit tonight. I'm going to do it tonight. She's like, fine. So we go to Michael's and grab some yarn. I think it was loops and threads. I don't remember if it was wool or acrylic, but it was this really pretty gray color and some size 13 needles. No, size 11, because I really liked the rose goldy look to them. And knit what I thought would be a scarf, but 90 yards is not enough for a scarf, even for chunky or bulky. And it went like this because I didn't understand that you had to take that second loop off, so it just kept increasing. And then yeah, so I bought some more yarn and kept at it, knit some scarves, knit a head band ear warmer thing. Yeah, and then I was bored and said, I'm gonna learn how to knit a hat. So over Christmas break, I learned how to knit a hat, and I used some acrylic yarn. I think it was Loops and Threads again, the Michaels brand, and it turned out tiny. I guess I was a tight knitter and didn't know it, I guess. I think since then I've loosened up a bit, but it was like this big. It fit around my head, and it was more of like a beret style anyway. But you know, I didn't understand blocking. I didn't understand that you couldn't block acrylic. That doesn't work. And then it was horrible. So that happened, but then I bought some chunky Lion brand wool, and it was red, and I knit a hat, and it looked like a hat, and it was slouchy, and it was cozy. It was great. And then I just went on a hat kick for a really long time, and then I said, you know what, I'm bored. So I bought some Knit Picks yarn. I discovered it because I started watching podcasts and people mentioned Knit Picks. I was like, oh, it's affordable, let's do it. Bought some Stroll fingering in, what is it? It's the pink one. It's something Heather. I don't remember what it's called. But I did that. I started toe up because I thought it made more sense. Found out that I hated toe up. I started Magic Loop though. Magic Loop made sense, and the heel always messed me up. And it took me a good 6 tries to get a sock that was acceptable. And then that same sock, because I knit my first real sock in the summer, like in May, June. And then in August, I said, I'm gonna knit a sweater. And I did. And the rest is history. Like, I loved it. And then I got really good at sock knitting. I knit a few socks. I wouldn't say I was great at sock knitting, but I got the formula down. Realized I was a cuff down knitter through and through. And yeah, so ordered my first indie dyed yarn, which is Kristen from Wool and Vine on her footsie base in the Outlander colorway. And yeah, so the rest is kind of history, I guess. I fell in love with indie dyers, fell in love with more podcasts, knit copious amounts. But yeah, I feel like I've been talking forever. So if you have any questions, just ask in the Ask Me Anything thread in the StressKnits Ravelry group. The link is in the down bar. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week and get to knit all of the things that you want to. Bye. I didn't hit the